Hello friends, it's Tonton. Welcome in today's guide. So today we're gonna talk about troop training or troop promoting. So it's kind of a basic guide for beginners, but I've seen teammates in 948 we're still having like low level troops, so maybe it's it's actually for players that play the game for an hour and a half somehow. But that's mostly for beginners. What should you do early? Should you promote? Should you train? What kind of troops? So I'll cover like how to make points in events, like all of Chiefs. It's training day, you can train troops, so you can promote as well, right? So how to make points, what's the best, and basically as well, kind of how to think about troops. So I'll try to make a generic guide. So what I've done before I started the video is I recalled all of my farmers. When you send a farm, so before you train troop, if you look at what you send when you gather, first are your weaker troops. So if you want to promote your troops, it's basically better to have them home, right? Otherwise you cannot promote them. So you need to have all your troops home. Then you might want to have anticipated a bit, and before that, upgraded all the troop training you could, right? So that for every speed ups you're gonna use, everything you're gonna do, you're gonna get more, you're gonna get better results. So that means that your research, if you see, for me it's maxed because this one is level 19 and it's not available yet. So that this one with the targets, you might want to have upgraded a bit Ling Wu because she has training speed as well here. So that's one thing you might want to check. And then early days, that's all you have, right? When you are really at the beginning. Later in the game, you might have a facility, which we don't have yet. They will be unprotected soon, but you have a facility that do training speed, but that's, not available for another 6 days because we are at the early days of the stage. You can get some buildings in your Daybreak Island, that some people already got on our state. You can get a title after you get local Sunfire Castle Battle, so you have a title you can claim that boosts your troop speed up. So whenever you use your speed ups, you want to basically have all, everything aligned to get the maximum training speed ups you can. But for now, it's our first time, so we'll go slow, we'll go gentle. And I'll show you kind of what to do, and we'll do it live, so to start with. So first of all, you have to understand that what you have to do what will give you the most point is not training fresh troops, because you see I'm training 356, right, for 3 hours, but it's promoting troops, because even if I get the game will give me the points between T5 to T6. But if I promote, so to promote, you click on the troops you want and you click here, right? And promotion. So to promote, you will promote 1,300 troops. So you will promote a lot more than you train. So overall, promoting is giving more points than training fresh troops. And why do you want to promote in the game? There are games like that, and I don't know if it's still the case, but I used to play Rise of Kingdom many, many years ago, and you wanted to have level 1 troops together, for example. So in Whiteout Survival, you don't want that. You don't want to have level 1 troop together. You can see the load here. It's 108, and that's 217, right? So while you could say, oh, it's a lot faster to train T1 troops, so, gathering is a lot easier, it's better. It's not false, but at the end of the day, you will have far enough troops to gather without any problem. And it's a game where you cannot lose your troops. I mean, they can be injured if you gather, but your state will be at peace, right? So for me, there is really no need. At some point, your state will be at peace. It might be not for a little while, but at some point, gathering will be safe, basically. And I played on three states differently at the beginning, and it was never an issue to gather. So there is really no points to keep low-level troops, and we're gonna promote all of that. And because basically your low-level troops, if you compare T1 stats, right? So 3 power, 1 attack, 6 health to T6 already. So it's 6 attacks, so 6 times more, defense, health. It's all a lot better basically. And your T1 troops, when you fight, they will die or they will be injured very easily, and they will fill your infirmary. And you see, for example, for me, I have 60k troops, and my infirmary is 24k capacity, right? Where do you see it? Details. I guess, yeah, 24k. And so you don't want your infirmary to be filled with weaker troops when you fight. You know, when you go for facilities later, when you go for fortresses on Fridays, like that stuff, they might be contested and you might need to fight. And so to fight, you will want to fight with the highest troop always. So there is really no point. Gathering is not an issue, is a non-issue in this game. That's gonna be all okay. Fighting, you need the highest level troops, so basically you will want to promote troops. That's what you will want. And you know, I'm actually wondering if we can do all. I have nearly 4 days of speed ups. I'm not sure we can do all. So what do you do when you start the game and you have to choose, right? My suggestion will be, first you will do marksman, because marksman, they will do damage for bear, and bear will give you a lot of resources and will get you to progress, right? So very early, if you do like that, if you have to choose, I'll promote first marksman, then I'll promote infantry, then I'll promote lancers. In general, in the game, you want to do a bit differently. A bit later, you want to train more infantry, then marksmen, then lancers last. So lancers are kind of always the last. Basically, when you fight in the game, when you join a rally, when you attack someone, whatever, you will tend to change your ratio. By default, I cannot choose the ratio yet, can I? Okay, so at some point in the game you can choose your ratio of troops you want to use, right? By default, the game is using 33, 33, 33. So 33.33 infantry, 33.33 marksmen, 33.33 lancers, right? But later, as soon as you start to play seriously, you will want 50 to 60 infantry percentage, right? So you will want mostly infantry. You will use 10 to 20% lancers, so a lot less lancers, and you will use then between 30, more or less 30% marksmen. That will be most of the time. There are some edge cases, but that will be most of the time. And when you fight, infantries are dying the most, then marksmen are dying the most, and then lancers are dying the least, right? So you basically want to overall in your game, you rarely want to use, you don't want to train fresh lancers. Lancers you just want to promote. You want to promote infantry and marksmen as well, and you might want to train, if you have to train fresh troops, so you don't have anything else to promote, then you want to train first some infantry and second some marksmen. And lancers you don't really need. Maybe the first few months you can do a bit of lancers, but you will quickly have too much lancers. So that's kind of how to think about troops. So and if you are a big whale, and if you spend a lot of, there is a new pack today that you can buy by Decali, which is this one, which is training troops. So the percentage is not amazing, but for a big spender, that's that could be really helpful to buy that. Long term, you don't want to spend your money here, right? There are far better places, but when you start the game, everyone has very low amount of troops. So as a big spender, if you spend 1,000, 2,000 a month, even 500, it might be worth to buy a tiny bit of these, right? To kind of get the correct amount of troops to be able to do 5 gathering with 5 marches, being able to fight a bit. It could worth it, and it makes a lot of points in event. If you look at all of Chief, basically, training days, is already 80 million, right? On the other, it's as much as the other days, but because the first one, and it's easy to make points on the other days, but later you will find out that troop training day is usually what makes people win that kind of events, and that spenders buying training packs, basically. That's really about it. That's how you win, or that free-to-play accumulating for months, but it's day 7, so we cannot accumulate for months. So that's kind of clearing the air up. So let's promote. So if you are in a rush, you can use quick use. So some of them are actually in a rally, right? So I'll finish later. So I'll promote as much as I can. I'll use quick use because, see, for example, it's 34 seconds, so I'm using 1 minute speed up for that, so I'm wasting 20 seconds. But I used to care about this second, but it does not really matter at the end of the day. It does not really matter. So you see, you start to promote a lot less, right? So I won't be able to do all my troops, basically. I won't have enough speed up. 4 days is not gonna be enough. We're gonna check how much, you know. I'm gonna try to do mostly, so I'm what, so see, I'm at 3 million and people did 84 million points today. So other free to play, that's where you are falling short, right? You cannot do much here. So this one is returning in a sec. And how many days of speed up we used already? Yeah, we lose a bit more than 1 day. So maybe I actually be able to do probably marksman and infantry, and then I'll be able to do the rest. I'll do lancers, you know. That's taking a lot of speed ups, right? So that I already do that for bear. You might want to do a bit of infantry as well. You know, you might not want to do, like, really your main the most two important units are. I'll do some infantry as well. And you know, you will end up promote everything. For me, like, I'm promoting right now the strongest one from the weakest one. It does not really matter. At the end of the day, you will do all of them. If you don't have enough speed up, you know, that's okay. Some people could say, oh, you want to promote the weakest one, but I'll gather with them anyway. I cannot promote all, so I'll rather have a lot of strong troops, even if I have a lot of weak troops as well, and over time, I'll basically sort that out. So where we are, so here it's 3 secs, so I'm not gonna bother too much. Are we doing with speed ups? So you just want to use your training speed ups, right? You don't want to use your general speed up. You keep them for buildings, basically. And that's already it, you guys. So basically what we're gonna do here, we're gonna promote. So we're gonna start some. What can I finish in 49 minutes? I'm gonna use all I can. And here I'm gonna keep promoting, right? So I'll promote all day, basically, as much as I can. And that will give me, okay, that's good. That give me some quest. In terms of points, you know, it's really low. It's 8 million points. So, but you know, it's still, it's basically still 18. So you can see that people that are kind of free to play that did like me, and you can see spenders, right? Everyone that is far above that is bought packs or use general speed up, but that's not something I will suggest. So if you look at the Hall of Chief overall where we are, overall ranking, we are 16, right? So it's not too bad. Training day is not going to be good for me. So there is, I hope I displayed that you cannot compete with spenders. Basically, it's really far. I'm not going to get close enough to get Zero Minimo Shard. People are too far, but I'm going to get a good amount of, you know, gems and everything. That's going to be a decent ranking. That was a good push in power. So, you know, yesterday I've made the video about Rookie's Growth and Trial. So roughly you need 4 million points to finish it, and I have 4.6. So you see, it's a decent margin, right? It's a very decent margin, so everyone should be able to do that. That should be doable. That should really be doable. And hope you manage to do it if you start fresh. What else can I say about troops? Because there are not many reports I can show you on that account. But if you look at someone that attacked us, you know, and that we defended, so you see they have losses. So they lost 7. These are dead. These went to the infirmary. These went to their city and they healed, right? So that's okay. There is nothing to do about it. The lightly injured, there is nothing to do about it in that case. Injured, they went to the infirmary. The person has to heal, so to use resources to do that. These are permanent. They are dead. They're never going to get them back, right? So if you look at the bottom of a report, you have battle detail. And if you look at the amount of troops that died, right? So it's a bit hard to understand because there are many of them, but these are the infantry. All of these are the infantry. So you see he lost, if we compare T5 versus T5, that was infantry, that was lancers, and that actually he lost less marksmen somehow, but maybe he had less marksmen as well. But you see that he lost a lot more infantry than lancers and a lot more infantry than marksmen, right? he lost T1. He lost as many infantry than as many lancers as marksmen, for example. That's very close. These are very close. But he lost similar amount of infantry. But I guess it's a low amount of troops. They are very low level troops, so it's really hard to see. But like later in the game, it will be very clear that the most injured and killed troops are infantry. The second is actually often marksmen, and the third is lancers. So that's why you want to prioritize. For me, I wanted to do a bit more bear damage, so I got 14k of T6 troops, and by the end of the day, I'll have a lot more because I'll be able to complete most of that. And as I get basically speed ups, I'll basically be able to train troops. During the day, you get speed ups for doing polar terror, you get speed ups everywhere, so that's gonna give me a bit more point. Maybe I'm finishing at 10 million points, but that will be it for today, guys. So that was a quick video about training troops, quick checking about all of chiefs. That's a test video as well. I managed to unlock auto translation somehow before the 1,000 subscribers. So before I upload this video, I'll set up everything. It's gonna take a little while, and then we will use that video as a test to see if you can listen to these videos in your native language, if you are not a native English speaker, French, whatever, and if the auto translation through AI with, robot voice instead of my voice is working. Please let me know in the comment if you check that, and if you make it to the end of the video. You don't need to watch it all, but maybe rewatch the first minute of the video. I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the video, so I'll use that video as a test to see how it works, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next one. Bye-bye.